The Undisputed podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Baker Mayfield heading to Tampa, according to new reports. Mayfield and the Bucs have agreed on a one-year, $4 million contract that could be worth up to $8.5 million. Shannon, good idea or bad idea?
It's a one-year deal. It's not like they say he's the quarterback of the future.
No.
Andy Dalton got 2 years. Mike White got 2 years. Old Stiddy, Jared Stidham got 2 years. Jimmy G got 3 years. Season a battle with Kyle Trask. I can see right now Mike Evans and Chris Godwin like, oh my goodness, Baker here to save the day. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Can you imagine? I'm going from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield.
Can you believe that?
Woo! Mike Evans, I'm surprised Mike Evans and Chris Godwin hadn't asked for a trade.
Really?
Yeah. Playing on the sport skip. So you want me to get excited? In 10 games last year, the man went 2-8. He threw 10 touchdowns with 8 picks. And I'm supposed to get on pom-poms and have a big old sign that says, yay. Is that what you want me to do?
You can do what?
No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is already one of the most disappointing #1 overall picks in the history.
Really?
Did you know, since the common draft, and the common draft goes back to 1967, he's one of 2 #1 overall draft picks to play for 3 teams in his first 5 seasons. Hold on, I was born in 68. I'm about to be double nickel. So in 56 stinking years, only 2 times in the history, in the common draft, 1967, that was the year before I was born.
Yep.
And you want to sit there and tell me Baker. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I haven't even spoken.
You should be ashamed of yourself for trumpeting his cause for the better part of 6 years. Well, if you go back to 2 years he was at college that we was over here. So for 7 years, you've been trumpeting this man's cause.
Speaking of salaries, would you believe that Sam Darnold, the guy that you like coming out in that draft, got $4.5 million to be the 3rd-string quarterback for the 49ers?
What'd that tell you? What'd that tell you?
He's a bust.
No. So how much Baker make it?
Well, it's a max of 8.5.
How much he get? No, I don't talk about the max. I'm talking about the men. What he got in the men?
Yeah. Okay. Baker Mayfield is about to replace Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. as the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose Super Bowl odds have plummeted all the way down to 25th in the NFL. That's how far
They got with 32 teams. Damn.
Correct. I got it. All right. Just because this has happened, it is time for me to walk you back through just what a quote-unquote bust Baker has been.
Okay.
His rookie year in Cleveland as the #1 overall pick, and again, I did like Baker in the draft. I told you going into that draft I would take Baker #1, and they did, and it was a shock to most people. Most people loved Sam Darnold, including you. I also said Josh Rosen would be a bust, and he was. I said I saw Josh Allen play 1 game, Wyoming against Iowa, because it was the only good game on their schedule, and I didn't see that much to love about him, but he has been very good. Am I sold on Josh Allen? I'm not completely sold. And obviously the outlier is the guy who went at the bottom of the first round, and it was Lamar Jackson. I did not see that coming, and I'm not sure anybody really saw that coming, as in MVP coming. Rookie year in Cleveland, that team had gone 0-16 the year before. Baker Mayfield won 7 games for that team and was runner-up Rookie of the Year to Saquon Barkley. I don't think anybody was talking bust about Baker after his rookie year because he took the NFL by storm, as in storm of touchdown passes, as in 27 touchdown passes he threw after not even starting the first 3 games his rookie year in Cleveland. You were taken by it so much that we go into year 2 and you are driving his bandwagon. Shake and bake, baby, right?
I was drunk.
Okay, you were drunk. Okay, you were delusional. You lost it for a while.
I did.
You needed therapy.
You
needed to go to a facility in Florida,
I
right?
went for 2 days.
Okay, you went for 2 days. Okay, and all of a sudden, right on schedule for his sophomore year in the NFL, here comes his best buddy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, my God. No, you did, Skip.
Okay, well, here he came. And for whatever reasons, they clicked off the field because they actually took vacations together. I don't know what happened, but they did not click on the field. Baker became completely Odell-centric. He's forcing the ball. Jarvis is not happy, his teammate from LSU, but Odell's teammate, and it just goes completely south. And then worse, would you believe Odell had not one or two, he had 3 different surgeries while he was a Cleveland Brown, and I thought he lost a step. He didn't look like Odell to me. Okay. And Baker kept force-feeding Odell when there was nothing to force-feed. And in the final stint there, he was just dropping every other ball. He didn't like Baker. Baker didn't like him on the field. I don't know what happened. The father got involved. Remember posting video of bad throws. So maybe not coincidentally, if you recall, on October 25th of 2020, a game at Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, Odell got hurt. He tore his ACL. And guess who took off? Baker Mayfield took off. And over the next 11 games, they go 8-3. And what does he do? He throws 20 touchdown passes to only 3 interceptions, and they go and win their first playoff game since 1994 against their arch rival on the road at Pittsburgh. Over that stretch, Baker was graded by Pro Football Focus the 4th best quarterback in all of pro football over an 11-game stretch. That's a pretty big sample size behind Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady. That's pretty good company, I would say. And yet, over this same stretch, Baker's having to suffer through the clown show Browns who give him 4 different head coaches and 4 different coordinators in his 4 years.
He got him fired.
Okay, well, I don't think so. How does 8-3 in a playoff win get you fired? It was one thing after another after another. Okay, so I look back on his time in Cleveland, and here are some of his games. Guess who he saved his best for? The best team in the division, Baltimore, who had the best defense in the division. These are 4 of the games he played, all against Baltimore. He threw for 376, 343, 342, and 342, all against Baltimore, and 3 of those games were at Baltimore.
Hey, you know what? They should have traded him after the season because that was good as it get. Then they ended up trading him for a box of Cracker Jacks and a bag of marbles. And then he got beat out in Carolina by Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker. That's what happened, Skip Bayless. Now, you can go back to his rookie year, his sophomore year, his junior year, whatever.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
okay.
He's in 4 teams.
And then he goes to Carolina, and I put all the eggs in the basket of the first game because they have to play his old team or get to play his old team. The Cleveland Browns visit Carolina for game number 1.
And beat them.
And what happened in the fourth quarter?
Baker didn't happen.
Baker threw for 131 yards in the fourth quarter, 5 out of 6 for 131, and led a late drive that concluded with 1:13 remaining in the game. A chip shot field goal from 34 yards that put them up 24-23. And I said, here comes Baker Mayfield.
I didn't say that.
And there was a roughing the passer that shouldn't have been called.
Roughing the passer.
And then there was an uncalled intentional grounding by Jacoby Brissett that would have ended the game. And it took a 58-yard field goal by the rookie out of Gens LSU, Cade York. 58 yards. Then Baker goes up and plays well enough to beat the suddenly hot New York Football Giants. And it took Graham Gano from 56 yards to win that game. It was 16-13. The point is, he got off to a bad start, and it went worse. And Matt Rule got fired because he deserved to get fired. And then what happened?
Yeah, he got fired because he brought Baker Mayfield on. He thought Baker Mayfield could save his job.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield got the coach fired and himself cut. Okay. That's how well he played in Carolina.
Okay.
You do realize that's what happened, right, Skip?
I do.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Sean McVay happened because he said, you know what? I loved Baker before the draft. I love him now. I'll take him. I don't have Matt Stafford. I don't have Cooper Kupp. I don't have a starting receiver left. But I will take Baker Mayfield, and on the fly, off 2 days of practice, I will throw him into a Thursday night football game against the Las Vegas Raiders at SoFi.
That train wreck.
Yeah, that train wreck. And the train wreck was the Rams because they had nobody. They didn't have Jay Ram. They didn't have Aaron Donald. They had nobody but Baker or bust. And he busted up the Las Vegas Raiders. That final drive, it was a thing of beauty. He went 98 yards in 8 plays for the winning touchdown throw. In the fourth quarter, he went 15 of 20 for 141 and lit up the night with that throw, if we could see it.
No, we don't need to see it.
We got to see it.
No, we don't need to see it.
You want to talk about clutch? This is the final throw of the game, right on the button, down the chimney. How about that smoke, Raiders? How about it? That's Baker Mayfield.
That was the Raiders.
Make, baby.
That was the Raiders.
Shake and bake.
Really, the Raiders.
Shake and bake, baby.
I mean, you show a video, a highlight clip against the Raiders.
Okay, I just showed you why he's not a bust. And Tampa just got a bargain because he will fit right in there. He'll be just what the doctor ordered to bridge the gap, to get them back to health. There's still some left. You see what Levante David, as soon as Baker signed, he said, I think I'll come back then. He took his deal. Nobody thought he was going back to Tampa, but he went back. Here we go.
Okay, he ain't a bust, he a van, but he a bust.
Okay, you still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin.
Hey, you ain't got no quarterback. You still ain't got no quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
He not Tom Brady.
Okay,
Tom Brady at 50 would be better than Baker.
Okay, what scares me is there is no more Byron Leftwich. There's no more Bruce Arians hands-on. And they got a brand new offensive coordinator. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Forgive me. I think it's Dave Canales. And he was under Pete Carroll for years and years in Seattle, but he wasn't even the coordinator, obviously. He was like the quarterback coach. And so he's now Baker's like umpteenth coordinator that he's had to deal with in this league.
Yeah, that's what the coordinator.
So we'll see what happens.
That's what the coordinators say that.
Yeah.
You know, having Coach Baker is not a plus on your resume, right? You do realize that's a ding.
Boy, I just showed you.
That's a red flag.
A bunch of high-level productivity here.
Credit score dropping.
Whew, whew.
If he was a credit rating, Moody's gave him a poor grade.
Baker's going to bust up that division because all of a sudden I think he's the best quarterback in that division.
That ain't saying much. You talking about he's the best quarterback in the division.
He is.
You ought to
Here
be
we go.
ashamed. You know what's good. You got no shame.
I told you, I thought I'd never watch another Bucks game, and all of a sudden I'll be watching everyone, and so will you.
Why? You already know
Shake and bake, baby.
Okay, shake and bake. Okay.
So much change under center in the NFC South, guys. On that note, every team will have a new starting quarterback next season in the NFC South. Okay, Joel Embiid. Guys, do you think he sealed the deal for MVP last night? Let's discuss when we return.